So, another year has come about. Let me just pause that. I just thought I'd go back a year in my videos, and there seems to be a lot in one year, but I've just gone back just before Christmas, maybe a month. I was doing a whole bunch of mic technique videos, and I discovered the Alpine Optimate system that measured the whole cabin. Found it centered well. Had another one called Centerline that centered well. And I don't think it was until after Christmas that I discovered a spherical method, which was a bit like doing Alpine method or Centerline, but still focusing on one side or the other. It was making a condition of a equal distance to the speaker group, and did various experiments on Centerline and tried to explain it and how I felt it was affecting the measurement. But deep down, I don't think it made it through to the end of this year. Deep down, it never gave the exact right tone that I believe was the natural tone. And here we are making our cubbies. And the cubbies only really started happening maybe a year and a half ago. So we have, just going back, sorry about this, we're meant to be doing this year. But I did see this, the first appearance of the cubby. And here I was explaining why I needed to make the cubby, because I wanted to delete all the window reflections. Because as I was driving along, you could physically see the speakers in 3 different places. And I just had one last, here we are. 2 years ago, I had a wave guiding, which came about from not quite being happy with the imaging from this setup, which was a modification of this setup, and hiding elements of it, moving elements around all the time. Yes, sorry about this, we're going way back. Around 2 different size subs just for an experiment. Here I am making that first cluster with adding as many speakers as I could onto one stalk, and I won't go back now, let's just go back to so I had a different set of pods. I digress. See how far I have to go back just for the 1 year? A bit more spherical. Some of this is still happening. We're only a couple of months back. And let's just make a hard edit and come back in right now. So we did spherical. We tried variations of spherical that weren't spherical. We made the cubby. We tried to explain it to ourselves. Then I did a quick little phase tests. I did some more building, some lights. This must have been March, coming back from audio meeting. This is when I was doing some graphs of spherical versus wavy face. Here's me trying outside of the door, doors open, spherical, small spherical, large spherical, more listening, adding more amp channels, doing more spherical videos, rebuilding the cluster, making the alignment more vertical, and then doing some more channeling, rebuilding the cubby with 3D pen. My God, thanks to Patrick out there who did a little video on a 3D pen, and did some more tweeter lenses, which some are still using, and I've still got a few more tricks up my sleeve with those. Yeah, building the cubby, making the lenses, And I believe I almost replaced everything in my whole system. So all the MIDI stuff went to shit. And when I found this Stream Deck, learned how to program the Stream Deck. That was great. Did some streaming testing. This amp, I think, maybe started to go. Talking about waves in the cabin. That's why we had to do the cubby. It's got the new amps, different power supplies, sounded better. Here, power supplies again. What else? And then I built, so the high mids crapped out on me. Found some really good placements, 2.5 inch, made hand printed 3D pods, got some op amps, and so that's where we are today. And just finishing everything, more op amps, more GAN power supplies, and finding out about the clock on that on the iPad's DAC was very interesting. It was almost like without it you got more sibilance, and with better power you got better clock and less sibilance. So what you always thought was in the recording was not in the recording. It's very, very interesting. So I just wanted to maybe touch on the fact that Spherical taught me one thing, and that was to ignore the listening position to come across the perfect sound system. But you still need to be able to measure your sound system to see if it's perfect or not. And that's how I stumbled onto Magic Beans, because it used a combination of near field quasi, he calls it quasi open field, which is, you could say, well, it's not quite 100%, but it's, to my ears, pretty darn good. And then I discovered that just measuring near field and not doing all the convolution to the listening position meant I could get an even better sound. So my current system is near field, and you just make it relatively all the same level in the near field, and EQ the speakers to fit your hypothetically perfectly summed crossovers, and that's where we are. So Magic Beans gave me the tone I was looking for, and then I moved on one more step to just accept the cabin for what it is, and that every car has its own target, and you don't have to know what the target is with using my method. And Magic Beans, even though it got around to showing you the target, you still didn't need to go through all those steps. So if you, say for instance, I took out this dash mat and all of the carpet, I would have a more brighter sound in the car, but it would still be the correct sound. So there you go. I think I'll leave it there because I've just been rambling. So catch you guys later. And if just for fun, if you're still here, I'll see how far this goes down. Something like I got a stat that people have been watching my videos for 7,000 hours. I thought that's got to be a couple of years in anybody's life. But so I went back here 4 years ago, the sub experiments. Here's the Audison amps. Here's my probably second speaker setup. It was like inside there was a ring radiator, dual ring radiator tweeter, and these melted on a hot day, and then I made the new pods from that point. They don't seem to be featured a lot. Yeah, that was sort of like that. And the D76 AF was inside there and the tweeter was just in the throat of that pod. And the very first ever setup is not on here because the channel only started 6 years ago apparently, and I've been doing that for maybe 10 or so years. Alright, catch you later and enjoy yourselves.